I have 20 years of experience in electoral systems. Experience comes from Venezuela from 2003 onward, where we received for the first time and we configured the Smartmatic systems for the first time in Venezuela. We configured the transmission systems and the tally systems. I was the national coordinator for voting machines. I was the national coordinator for national data.
Sir, do you have personal knowledge whether or not the election systems in the United States, the voting systems, can be manipulated by foreign agents?
The electoral systems of the United States can be manipulated by foreign agents or third parties.
After the 2020 election, we were told by the Attorney General of the United States that the 2020 election was the most secure in history. We were also told by the Colorado Secretary of State that the Colorado computer voting system is the gold standard for running elections. Can you tell us if that is true? Are our elections in the United States and in Colorado really secure?
No, they are not secure.
Can any election be run fairly and securely using Dominion software, which is so susceptible to manipulation?
Well, we have to keep something in mind or understand something clearly. No system is infallible. Dominion's software is a software that has a lot of errors or bugs, and they've had many years to correct them, and they haven't done so. From an IT standpoint, you could even say that the types of errors that they have made are very basic. But the reason why those errors are intentionally there is because they need it. But the current software that Dominion Voting Systems is using right now does not provide, they cannot ensure that an election cannot be manipulated. When Smartmatic of Venezuelan government, who owns the source code belongs to the government, made an integration with the American company called Sequoia Voting Systems when it was acquired in the year 2005, to then bring to pass the elections, carried out the elections in Chicago, Illinois in 2006, then lending or selling its technology to Dominion Voting Systems in the year 2010. In 2006, a tool was used. The tool was called SAES, AES Data Util.
Can you explain how SAES works?
SAES Data Util is a tool that allows you to do a general test of the entire electoral system. In order for you to test the entire system, you need to input the different credentials and also the certifications for the particular election. And this tool allows you to emulate voting machines in order to then transmit the votes. This is supposed to be a tool that, for its normal usage, is supposed to allow you to test the integrity of a system. For when it's misused, it can allow you to inject votes without people knowing you did so. By using a statistical system, knowing the elector's behavior, without exceeding a maximum of 2 or 3% of vote manipulation, while at the same time taking over a large number of voting machines that you need in order to change the total amount of votes that you need to modify.
Can ballot images be changed inside the computer?
That's correct, yes, they can. So Smartmatic purchases Sequoia in 2005. So the SAES software is implemented for the elements of Sequoia. From 2007 to 2013, Sequoia and Dominion worked for the elections in the Philippines. And that relationship allows Dominion to purchase Sequoia in 2010. Therefore, the size election software from Smartmatic ended up being implemented in Sequoia and later on transferred to Dominion. And you have two engineers there. Their names are David Moreno and Ronald Morales, which were the ones that handled the integration of the software belonging to Smartmatic called SIAS and integrated it into Sequoia. And then these very same engineers did the integration from Sequoia to Dominion in the year 2010. Currently, these engineers still work for Dominion and they are in charge of their software. They know how to make an injection into the system in an undetectable manner so that when detailed audit of the election is performed, any sort of trace. And also, when you audit an election or when you audit a system, you will be auditing only that which the company wants you to see or what the electoral body wants you to see. Only the modules and the functions that the public needs to know are audited. That is why you have been unable to detect whether a library has been hidden, has been locked, or if it can be manipulated. You are not auditing tools like this one either, like SIAS Data Utility, which are tools that allow you to inject votes. So people end up not knowing what the tool's actual purpose or utility is.
Where is the worldwide global headquarters for Dominion Voting Systems, Inc.?
They have three headquarters: the United States, Canada, and Belgrade, Serbia. It is in Serbia that they develop the programs that are then implemented here in the United States. Ronald Morales is the person in charge of configuring the entire security network so that these three different headquarters can communicate between themselves. Ronald Morales is the person that puts that man in the middle in place to be able to set up the communication from the new Dominion system, between the new Dominion system and the old Smartmatic system. But that same behavior existed elsewhere as well. At that point in time, they used initially VPN networks. And during the days that the American elections were held, Serbia is the office that is responsible for resolving the errors that pop up in the systems. You would never show the public the errors of the system. You would only show the functionality of it.
Now, going back to the log file size,
You write the day-to-day of an election. So let's say it becomes full, then the next day gets overridden on top of that.
and so when you have an election that lasts for several days, it becomes impossible to audit the full election because the records are being erased after they are written. True?
That is true.
In general, would you say that Smartmatic software was designed with two principles in mind? Number one, it's easy to rig elections, and number two, it's hard to audit.
That is correct.